Hi there. I'm glad that you are joining me for this section. Functions is so important. So I can't tell you what to do, but my suggestion would be that you invest some time into this section. And let's quickly just work through this concept map of all the concepts that's part of this section. And I'll make sure that there's a copy of this and also with some notes, that there's a link in the description that takes you right there. You can also find it on my website. And let's jump in. So obviously, grade 10s, there's knowledge that we need to have when we tackle our maths. We need certain knowledge, and that is summarized in the concept map, and that then elaborated a little bit on in the notes. But then we need to apply our knowledge. And I often find that students, once they've kind of scanned through the notes a little bit and they've memorized some formula or whatever, then they think they are ready. But unfortunately, then we walk out of an assessment or whatever, and we're like, oh my gosh, they ask stuff that I've never learned before. It's because you need to practice to apply your knowledge. And I know that it's frustrating when you sit and you're by yourself and you get stuck and you don't know who to ask. Then sometimes we just kind of say, oh, okay, no, I can't do this. I want to encourage you to get a copy of the notes. I will also link a copy of the workbook of all the questions that I'm going to be working through on YouTube, and then work with me and apply your knowledge and think as we do it. Don't just like skip through it and go from the beginning to the end to see the question and see the answer. Go through the questions mindfully, focus, track with the thinking, so that you'll be able to do it on your own next time. I know you can do it. All right, let me stop blabbing. That's my speech for the day. Okay, so on the left there, orange, we've got the straight line. You need to know your standard form. You need to have a good understanding of the gradient and what your y-intercept is. Then in blue, we've got the parabola that was introduced to you this year. We have our quadratic function. There we're going to need some knowledge like solving quadratic equations, because we're going to have to calculate some x-intercepts. And there's some detail that we need to know that we will be able to apply our knowledge. Then for the hyperbola, you need to know your standard form over there. And the moment that you see that your x is part of the denominator of a fraction, you need to know, that represents an hyperbola if I draw that function. And there's some new terminology was introduced to you, the idea of an asymptote. And then the exponential curve. You need to know the standard form. The moment that you see your x is part of the exponent, you need to know, this is an exponential function. And there's lots of little things that you need to know with that function. So make sure that you do. And then lastly, grade 10s, we need to know the knowledge that we need to have before we start applying our knowledge. You can't apply your knowledge if you don't have it, is the certain notation. Sometimes they just use a word and you need to know what it means. And same with terminology. And then for every single function, you need to be able to draw it. You need to be able to find the equation of it, and you must be able to interpret it. Okay, grab a copy of this and let's get going.